Okay, I'm going to talk about flute playing. Now, I haven't actually played the flute for many years. That's not true, actually. I did pick it up the other week and I was recording it a little bit. But I started playing flute when I was 11 years old, and my flute was such an old wreck of an instrument that it had little elastic bands to keep the keys working, and there's so much to say about the flute. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you about the flute is that essentially you make the sound by using something called the embouchure. This is called the embouchure. You know, when you blow over a milk bottle and you make that sort of sound like that, and you have to find a certain way to produce that sound. So if you are watching this and you want to play the flute, and I know that there's somebody called Bethan he's just 7, or she is just 7. I don't know if Bethan is a boy's name or a girl's name. But anyway, Bethan, if you want to start playing flute, the first thing to do is forget about holding the instrument. Like, it's very, very complicated. Just take the headpiece and just blow like that across. Try to get this thing called the embouchure and try to make a sound. That's all you need to do. And you should do that. Don't do it for too long, because you will make yourself sick and you'll faint, which is really not very pleasant, is it? So just start by blowing using the headpiece, and don't be sick and don't faint, and just do that, you know, for just a few minutes every day. And you'll find that if you practice regularly, you know, just doing a few minutes every day, then by the end of a week or two, that you've really mastered it and you make a good sound, and then you can put the rest of the flute together, and then you can learn how to hold it, and that'll be part 2, and I'll tell you all about that next time. Well, the question that I've been asked today is what inspires me to sing and write and perform in the way that I do? And there isn't a straightforward answer for that. The other day I was watching a nature program, and it said, why are you waving at me? Oh, good. Okay. It's a little kind of noise. Okay. Okay, we'll just carry on, shall we? Okay. So the question was, what inspires me to sing and write and play in the way that I do? And there isn't really a straightforward answer for that, because I just kind of am inspired. It's just the person that I am. But having said that, very interestingly, I was watching a nature program the other day, and it was explaining that, oh, it was so interesting, that there was a film and there was this very fat cuckoo. It was a baby cuckoo, and this little tiny bird was feeding it worms. Like, the cuckoo's parents had flown away back to Africa, and there was the cuckoo being fed by this little tiny bird. And the narrator explained that eventually the cuckoo would also fly to Africa because it's programmed to fly that way. And the other little bird that was feeding it is programmed to feed the big fat cuckoo. And I know this sounds crazy, but I will get to the point. The point is that I think that we all have an inherent capacity to do something. And for me, my capacity was realizing that I loved music and I loved singing, and that I wanted to write songs and I wanted to perform and I wanted to record. And for me, that has been my way. So I think everyone's like a cuckoo waiting to go back to Africa. Does that make sense? Or am I mad? Don't answer that question.
Please let me answer that question.
It makes sense, Alan.
It makes total sense to a cuckoo.
Aside from my artistic endeavours, what do I consider my biggest accomplishment? Oh my gosh, I've never really thought about accomplishment like that, because ostensibly, I think just getting through each day is what it's about. I don't think it's about aiming for the big accomplishment. I think it's about the steps as you take them. So, I mean, there have been accomplishments, And for me, having my, it sounds really corny, but it isn't. It's having my daughters, living with my daughters, that they're great and they're fine and they're here. But I didn't really have a lot to do with that. I just pushed. And then, and I did lots of other things as well afterwards. Lots of changing nappies and lots of feeding and lots of getting up in the middle of the night. They're my greatest accomplishment, my girls. Do I ever get discouraged about lack of radio play on certain radio stations? Yes, the bastards, they don't play me and I hate them. Why? Why don't they play me? I'm just a young 54-year-old. I mean, are they ageist? Tell me. I mean, aren't I cutting edge? Can't you see? Hello, this is cutting edge. Look, and you should be playing me. But the world's not like that, is it? So do I get discouraged? Nah. Screw them, that's what I say. Oh God, the question is, what was I looking for when I was a child, and then when I was an adult, and then when I was a, grown up? I'm not a grown up. I'm not a grown up. It's obvious. What was I looking for? Well, what was I looking for? Oh, okay, I've got the answer to that question. When I was a child, I think I was looking for escape from boredom. Boredom is so stultifying, and as a child, I often felt on the verge of boredom, so I was always looking for something interesting and stimulating and inspiring. Nothing's changed. Still the same. Still looking for interesting, inspiring, fascinating, but I don't get bored, so maybe, what? Maybe I should be bored. Maybe I should learn how to be bored. That would probably be a good thing. The therapists have a lot to say about things like that, as do philosophers. I don't think I'm making any sense.
And they're also looking what we're looking for as an artist.
Oh, what was I looking for as an artist? Artists look for inspiration. Why do they look for that? I don't know. What are artists looking for? Maybe artists are trying to find answers. Yes, artists are trying to find answers to the existential questions of existence, which are, who am I? And what am I doing here? And what's the meaning of life? And then artists, if they happen to be writers or painters or photographers or filmmakers or actors or musicians, because that's artistic, isn't it? They do things, they engage with these artistic means of expression to feel somewhat engaged with the answer or the process of trying to find it. And there is no answer, that's the honest truth. We're all slightly mad. And I'm feeling slightly mad today, obviously. So I don't really have any straight answer about what I was trying. It's escape the boredom, find the solutions, find the answers. Just, I don't know. It's better than working in a fish factory.
Did you ever work in a fish factory?
Yes. Well, someone asked that question.
No, I just asked.
Oh, yes. I worked in a fish factory. No one asked me that question. Did you ever work in a fish factory? But if you had asked the question, the answer would be, yes, I did. And what did I do in that foreseen fish factory? I trimmed fish. That's what I did. And a fabulous job it was too. And we should all work in the fish factory, and we should all, yes, you would know what it would be like. And the thing is, if you're an aspiring pop star, go work in a fish factory. And yeah, and then that's the road to success, folks. That's the formula. Fish factory. Don't have one?
Just answer yes to this next one. Would you consider yourself extraordinary?
Okay, so the question was, would I consider myself extraordinary? Just a minute, I'm just thinking, I'm just tuning in to myself. I think I'm just an ordinary person, actually, you know. And I think, anyway, what's extraordinary, what's ordinary? Ordinary can be extraordinary. Now go figure. Well, I was laughing. I don't laugh a lot because it takes something really hilarious to make me laugh. But the last time it was just so crazy was when I was in Amsterdam, and the host of the show was actually smoking spliff live on the television. Now, if we had been in any other country apart from the Netherlands, the drug squad would have been right there. We would have all been arrested, including the audience, the people that were working, the technicians, the people that had been invited to the show. We would have all been busted without any question. It was so funny because at first I thought he's just pretending to be smoking this, and then I realised, like, with this perfume aroma that was like reaching all corners of the studio, and the way that he was laughing hysterically, definitely well stoned. And it's the first time I've ever been interviewed live on television. Well, it wasn't broadcast live, thank God. But I mean, that's the fantastic thing about travelling and encountering different cultures. And it did make me laugh, yes. It was hysterically funny. And he was hilarious. And I did mistake him for a gay man, but he did say afterwards, "But I am married, I have children." But you never know. People can get married and have children and be very gay and stoned. That's true, by the way. It's all true. Okay, this one's for Natalie. Peace and love. What am I most looking forward to in the future? Oh my God, I actually have no idea. Because you see, you don't know what the future brings, do you? You don't know what it holds. I'm looking forward to what am I looking forward to? Making more music. Definitely looking forward to making more music. I'm looking forward to I don't know the answer to that question. Actually, what am I looking? I'm not even thinking about the future, Natalie. What a stupid question to ask me. Now, here's the point. What are you most looking forward to? Far more interesting.